What are the best movie releases coming out in December 2021? That's what we're going to discuss on today's show. Hey, it's me, AP, and welcome to the Saturday Movie Show. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday, ladies and gents. And this is the first December show, the first show, Saturday Movie Show of December 2021. So we thought, let's start it off with a roundup of what movies are coming out this month of December. So it's going to be a fun-packed show. We're going to highlight some of the movies, 4 movies I'm going to talk about today that are coming out this month. So it should be a fun-packed show discussing those movies. But as always, we've got more movie talk as well throughout the show. So before we get into the meat of the show, we're going to do something to ease ourselves in. As always, we're going to get to the section of the show called Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping. This is the part of the show where we talk about what is going on with the channel, and it's just an overall roundup of what's going on. Just an easing in session to the show today. So, what is on this week's Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping? So, we have had a new video come out this past week on the channel, and it is a movies in my collection that I have not watched yet. And this was kind of like a spin-off video of the video I'd done the previous week, where it was that challenge video that's going around on YouTube with the movie community at the moment, discussing movies, popular movies that you've never watched before. And I thought, thinking of ideas for videos, thinking of video ideas, and I just thought, let's try and do one based on the movies in my collection. And that video did really well. A lot of people interacted with that video as well. It was a fun video to make, just going through some of them movies. I mean, I think the notable one in that video, definitely check out that video if you've not already, but the one notable one is the Never Say Never Again. And it was the Bond one, which was like Sean Connery come back to do the Bond movie. And for me, that is the most notable one of that collection of movies in my collection that I've not watched as of yet. But I think maybe I could do a part 2 of that. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a few more in the collection that I've maybe not watched, or maybe I've seen a bit of that I could do another video at some point. But I enjoyed doing that video. It was cool just rooting through the collection and finding ones that I haven't watched. But like I said, Never Say Never Again. Sean Connery comes back for a remake of Thunderball, the movie he had previously been in. It was an adaptation of the Thunderball book. And he is notably older in this movie. I think he left the role of James Bond a few years later. So he come back, and I've got to give this movie a watch. Just first of all to see what it's like compared to the original Thunderball. If it's a shot-for-shot remake, I don't know. It's just going to be intrigue in watching this movie. But it's been sitting in the collection for years now, and just never got around to watching it. So that is one I'm definitely going to get around to. Another one that a lot of people pointed to in that video is Troy being a great movie. So Troy is definitely another one what I'm going to get round to watching. But yeah, it was a really fun video to make, and it seems like the community, got involved and really enjoyed that video and interacted. And it's cool, as always, to see the comments and see people interacting with all the videos coming out. So that was the video that came out this past week. What else has been going on the channel? First of all, Saturday, here's the plans for December for the Saturday movie show throughout this month. And because it is going to be a bit of a shorter month, we're going to do less shows this month. So, plan of action. Saturday the 18th of December, I've got all my notes here. Saturday the 18th of December will be the last Saturday movie show of the year. That being because it is the 18th and then the 25th is Christmas Day. Come on, I think we can all take the day off on Christmas Day, can't we, from YouTube, and just have a bit of a chill out. So that will be the last show of the year, last Saturday movie show. Weighing things up now for the pay-per-view episode of the month. As I said, every 3 months on this channel, we do a pay-per-view episode of some sort, whether it be a movie quiz or a special video. So, plan of action as of now. The pay-per-view episode will either be on the 16th, which is the Thursday. It'll just swap out for a normal Thursday video. Or I'm more inclined to say this date, the 19th, so the day after the last Saturday show of the year. Do it on the Sunday, do a pay-per-view Sunday. Still weighing up the options. I think I'm probably going to go with a quiz. Still don't know whether we're going to get guests on or whether it's just going to be like similar to the previous routines. I suppose it's just about planning. If I can get people involved all on a certain time, that's just planning it out. I really do need to sit down one day this week and just plan out what we're going to do. But they are the schedules. Like I said, I think it is more likely to be a quiz now, what we're going to go with. Some sort of Christmas quiz, Christmas movie quiz. I think that'd be fun to do. But yeah, either one of those dates, I will let you know. Probably we'll have it finalised by next week as to what we're doing, because it's going to be, so hang on, so there's two more shows, 2 more Saturday shows after this. I'm getting ahead of myself. 2 more Saturday shows. I think it's the 18th next week. It's not. So hopefully the next week though we'll have a better idea of where we're going with that pay-per-view episode. But it will happen. We will do a pay-per-view episode this month as always, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I think it's going to be a fun episode to do. What else has been going on the channel this past week? First of all, I've done a collaboration this over what was released yesterday, and the collaboration was with Ryan from Let's Get Kicking Movies on his show, A Trip to Horror Road. So first of all, check out Ryan's channel. It is an awesome channel. We did a video discussing Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead, and Ryan has a load of these he's got a series. The series is all based on horror movies, where he's talking about horror movies himself. He's doing collaborations with other creators on YouTube. I met Ryan through Pete's channel, Playtendo Guy, a few weeks back when I was on his live stream, and I met him through that, and we got discussing movies. Online, just messaging each other, and then he invited me on to do the show. So I think we filmed that not this Friday, the Friday prior. We filmed that. We did it over Zoom. We done this video. It's like a 40-minute video discussing Dawn of the Dead, and it's fun because I'm not like a big horror guy, but that is one horror movie I enjoy and I like. And it was good to discuss it and to deep dive into that. I watched it in the morning and then we filmed it in the evening. What was fun though, we filmed the video, then it was like a 40-minute video, we filmed it, and we said at the end, we should have filmed what was after it, because we must have had about another 2-hour conversation then afterwards, just about movies in general, and that would have been like another video in itself. So, great guy, Ryan, definitely check out his channel, check out that video, I will link it in below, that video, well worth checking out, and really fun to be involved, and it was fun to do a collaboration. I'm really getting into doing these collabs now, working with other creators on YouTube, and that is going to be definitely something more you see more and more on the channel in the coming year. And this channel and me going on, hopefully on other people's channels, I get invites. I gladly do it. I really enjoy it. It was really fun to do. So again, big thank you to Ryan for inviting me onto his show and for being an awesome host, and for putting out a superb edit on that episode, and it was really fun to do. So that was another cool thing. So as I said, we're going to hopefully do as well, last thing of Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping this week. I said last week we're going to do some Christmas shows. I'm looking at the calendar now, and it's like we haven't really got that many shows left of this year. So like I said, after this, 2 more shows. So I think next week's episode is probably going to be like a best Christmas movies episode, and that'll be the Christmas show at the moment. I was thinking like Halloween, we did a few different Halloween episodes. Is Halloween a longer month? Maybe it is, but I suppose because we're skipping out Christmas Day and stuff like that, there's going to be shorter shows this month. So there'll be definitely one topic of Christmas movies. Hopefully that'll be next week. And as I said, we'll find out next week. We'll suss out what is going on with the pay-per-view episode. For sure, we'll find out what it's going to be, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to doing it. So, anyway, that is the not-so-worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping out of the way for today's show. Let's move on with the headline topic. So, the headline topic, best releases of this month, December 2021, best movie releases. And I've got 4 choices here for you, ladies and gents. And I'm excited to deep dive into these. So let's get into it. First off, I want to start this off with, there's not that many Christmas movies out this month. That's what I will say. There's not like, usually we get like the odd Christmas movie. Maybe there's one I'm missing out. Maybe it's like a small budget Christmas movie. I've not really noticed many Christmas movies this month, even in December. But I suppose a lot of it's due to the fact we've had loads of these delays, and a lot of these movies that were initially delayed have been thrown into the Christmas spot. So maybe that's why this year we've not had Christmas movies. It's kind of an interesting one, though, and it's like, normally we do get. I remember, like, was it last year or the year prior, we had like the Kurt Russell Christmas movie on, was it Netflix? And I think he's released two of those, and maybe that's over the past couple of years. But I've not really seen. I mean, there's definitely. I think there's one on Sky over on the UK. It's Sky Box, Sky Movies. It's a boy called Christmas, or a boy named Christmas. That's one I keep on seeing advertised. Other than that, though, I've not really seen any new Christmas movies other than that being released. So it's been very little this year. But again, I think a lot of it is due to the movie delays and all the big budget movies being thrown into the month of December for a big release. But let's have a look at these top 4 releases of December for me personally. So we're going to start off with Matrix Resurrections. Matrix Resurrections releases on December 22nd. It will be a HBO Max release, also released at the same time in cinemas. What am I thinking about this? It sees the return of Keanu Reeves. A lot of the majority of the original cast. I think the original guy who played Agent Smith is not Hugo Weaving. He's not in this movie. As far as we know, Lawrence Fishburne, he's not in it as Morpheus. Apart from that, the original cast is all there pretty much. Well, the main central cast. And what do I feel about this? You know what? I was excited at first. I was intrigued to see what was coming. And I've seen a few different bits and trailers recently. I've seen one they released maybe this past week or past 2 weeks, Matrix Resurrections. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to this movie, but I'm not like on the level of like the new Spider-Man movie where I'm just on the edge of my seat, excited. I do feel like Matrix Resurrections could be. I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna really be this mesmerizing movie. I feel like me going into it, my thoughts is this: it's gonna be a good movie, but it's gonna be very much a reboot of the first movie. I think a lot of people probably feel the same. From the initial first trailer, it looked like a reboot of the first film, the first Matrix movie, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The movie's 20 years old now, so there's a whole generation, a few generations of people who have never seen this franchise before, maybe never even heard of it. So if they're doing this reboot of it, maybe it could work, and then it reignites the people to go and watch the previous movies. And maybe if they want to do a new trilogy, they had to start off with this sort of like a reboot idea, going with a same look as the first movie. The more recent trailer I watched, it looked like it was kind of like taking a bit of a dump on the original movies, because it felt like I was watching it and it was like, is it all been set in the Matrix? Was none of the first trilogy really real? Did they ever get out the Matrix? Did they think they did, but they were actually in another Matrix, like a Matrix within a Matrix, like kind of an Inception style thing? I think that's going to be a little bit of a tread with this movie, a little a theme maybe, that it's going to be like a Matrix within a Matrix or something. I don't. It's going to be interesting because they've got two audiences to provide for here. They've got the original audience of the movies who've seen them 3 movies. Then they've got this new audience who have maybe never seen these movies before. So they're working on both grounds, and it's like, do they take what is from the first 3 movies and carry it on and have a progression there, or do they just kind of say, here's a new movie, whatever happened in them first 3 doesn't matter, we're just going to totally rewrite it all and do something completely new and say nothing in them first 3 movies mattered at all. It was pointless. This is where the point of all the good stuff starts right here. And they could do that. I mean, I think a lot of fans would be disappointed if they did do that. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. As I said, I've still not rewatched all them 3. I've still got to rewatch them, and I am intending. I said this weeks ago or months ago when we were discussing The Matrix coming out. I think it was the first trailer hit, saying that I need to rewatch them final two movies because the first one is the one I always watch, and I kind of just leave the previous two, the other two sequels because I just wasn't really into them, especially the third one. So I will have to watch them. I've got them in the collection behind me. I need to get around to watching them at some point before the release of this new film. But I don't know. I'm definitely going to go into it and watch it. I'm going to watch it with intrigue. But yeah, and my expectations are not like super high for this movie. I would say just like a middle of the road. I feel like we're gonna watch it and we're gonna be like, yeah, it's a decent movie, but I don't think it's gonna break any boundaries, any barriers. I think it's just gonna be a decent film to the franchise. Will it kick off a new trilogy? Look, it depends how much it makes. It's going to be interesting as well because it's a HBO Max release as well as a cinema release. Will the cinema release do well? I mean, we've got, like things going on with the cinemas at the moment. We don't know. I'm even looking at cinemas now. Are cinemas going to be like full house cinemas with this? We got this new variant in the world at this moment in time. Are we going to see decreases in the capacity of cinemas around the world? Who knows? It's going to be interesting. Will it make enough money to provide us with another sequel? Lot of questions for Matrix Resurrection. Will it resurrect the franchise of The Matrix? Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gents. So the second movie release of December I want to discuss is Don't Look Up. This is the new Adam McKay movie starring Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill. A pretty star-studded cast here, and this is going to be a Netflix release. It's getting a limited theatrical release on December 10th, and then it'll be to Netflix then on December 24th, Christmas Eve. And what can I say? First of all, Adam McKay is well known for doing like the Anchorman movies. He done the Big Short, the Vice movie. I watched the Vice movie just recently, and I thought it was a decent movie, that one. So this is Don't Look Up. It's basically the premise of the story is Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are these people who study comets and space and all this, and they discover that there's this giant Earth killer comet coming to Earth, and they're trying to let authorities know and stuff like this, and they're trying to release this and leak this to the world that this comet is hitting Earth. It kind of looks like a comedy drama kind of film. So I like the trailers. The trailers, they've got the ELO song. It's one of the Don't Bring Me Down. That's the one. Don't Bring Me Down by ELO on the recent trailer. It's like a version of that. And the trailer is very, very cool. I think it looks like a fun movie to watch. As I said, first of all, the star-studded cast. It looks like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are the main protagonists of the story, the mainstay characters, and then we got like Meryl Streep and Jonah Hill as kind of the villainous roles as these politicians trying to cover up this big comet hitting Earth. And it looks funny. It looks interesting, and it looks in a style similar to like The Big Short and Vice, rather than Anchorman. It looks like more in that sort of vibe of a movie, which Adam McKay seems to have got this sort of certain style down to a T now. I watched a bit of The Big Short. I'll be honest, I didn't feel it. I feel like that's a movie I need to give a second watch to, and maybe I would get a bit more from it. But Vice, I certainly did like that. Vice was like a political drama, but there was like definitely like humor elements in there. You had Steve Carell in there, add a bit of humor. So I think he's got it down. He's got like this sort of like serious comedy tone to his movies now, and I think he nails it. And I feel like it's a very much a similar style for Don't Look Up. But that is a Netflix release. I'm looking forward to that. I think it looks something different. It looks something cool to watch. And I'm excited to watch that on Christmas Eve. I think it'll be a good watch. Next up, right, we have got a prequel, also a third movie in a franchise, and that is the Kingsman franchise, and the movie is The King's Man. Not The Kingsman, The King's Man. And it is the prequel movie to the Kingsman Secret Service movies by Matthew Vaughn, and it is... I believe it's like set during. I think it's either World War One or World War Two. I'm I'll be honest, I'm not too sure. I'm not completely sure on this one. It stars Ralph Fiennes. We've got Gemma Atherton and Rhys Evans as well as the villain in this story. And it's like the origin of the Kingsman Secret Service society, them setting it up, this spy drama, comedy. It's a rated R movie. This movie will come out on the 22nd of December to cinemas only, this release. What can I say about this? First of all, right, the prequels. I've watched the first one, The Secret Service, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really fun movie. It was very, giving us a different offering of these spy genre movies. Matthew Vaughn, he did. I'm pretty sure it was him, wasn't it? The Matthew Vaughn. Let's see. Yep, Matthew Vaughn. A film by Matthew Vaughn. This one, Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass from the collection A did both Kick-Ass movies. I'm pretty sure he did the comic book. I may be wrong. I'm sure he did the comic book, and I think Kingsman is actually a comic book as well. It's based off a comic or a graphic novel. And he's directing that movie, and it's rated R. That had a similar vibe to Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass was great. I've not seen the second one, the second Kingsman movie, so that is one I'm definitely going to have to watch as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's nice that we're getting a different era of this Kingsman franchise and seeing it looks like the trailer has swearing in it. It's got like high violence in it, but it's fun. It looks like a fun movie. I think it's going to be a cool one to watch over Christmas. It's going to be a big hitter movie, I imagine. The only thing is, it's lodged in there between Spider-Man, The Matrix. I mean, what is going to win through as like the number one movie over December? It's got to be Spider-Man, isn't it? Spider-Man's going to be the big hitter movie. Where is Kingsman going to be? Maybe about third or fourth, maybe, with Don't Look Up as well. But yeah, I think if you like your spy movies, if you like fun, entertaining movies, maybe it's not one for the kids. I'd probably with the rated R in the, maybe it's more for young adults, I would say, a bit more so teenagers. I wouldn't let a young kid probably watch this one. But it's going to be a fun, entertaining movie to watch, and that is The Kingsman. Now I'm going to move on to the fourth and final choice of today's show, and that is, it had to be this one, didn't it? Spider-Man No Way Home, the third movie in Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie series. And look, this is released in the UK December 15th and in the US December 17th. We are getting it here in the UK 2 days before all the Americans. They're all cursing us now. All the pitchforks are out. Look, I think, first of all, we discussed that we had a prediction show a few weeks back. If you've not checked it out, check it out. Check out all my predictions. I don't really want to go into predictions again. But what I will say is, this is going to be heavily spoiled on the internet. You are going to have to avoid, from the 15th of December forward, you are going to have to avoid the internet if you're in the US especially, because you're going to get spoilers everywhere. I don't know why they just don't do a movie of this scale. This, it's going to be so, like, it's biggest movie of the year, biggest movie of the past couple of years. And they're releasing it in the UK first. It should just be released on the same day everywhere at the same time. Avoid all these troubles with spoilers. Even this week, right? I've seen it on the John Campea show. He mentioned that critics have only movie critics get sent like a copy of this movie so they can give it their thoughts without spoiling the movie. But critics this year, according to John Campea, check out his show, great show on movies and movie news. Critics have only been given a 40-minute look at this movie, and this is like a 2-hour plus movie, and critics have only been given 40 minutes of a look because they don't want anything getting leaked out. So after those 40 minutes, you're like, what's happening after those 40 minutes? Is it like minute 41, we get Tobey Maguire, we get Andrew Garfield, we get Matt Murdock, we get Daredevil. It's going to be so cool to watch. I'm looking forward to watching that. I've still not planned out where or when I'm going to watch it because I don't really want to go into a packed out movie like cinema at the moment. But I will hopefully go and see that at the cinemas, maybe on a day when it's a couple of days after Christmas or after the 17th. And, I'm going to have to avoid the internet as well. I'm just going to have to just turn everything off, not look at the internet. Because you just know there's going to be some person out there who's going to do a YouTube video and it's going to have Tobey Maguire or someone like that on a thumbnail, and you're just going to be like, no. But we kind of all know, don't we? We all know that they're going to feature, especially, it's just been heavily rumoured. I think, again, as fans, we'd be super disappointed now if we didn't see those characters of the original movies featured within this movie. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of those movies that is kind of like for me, it's like, it's got the feeling beforehand of years ago when The Force Awakens came out. I was so excited to see that movie. The anticipation for it was high. I was excited. And I remember going in the cinema at that time and just being so giddy and like a little kid, just so excited to see this movie. And I felt like that with the Avengers, the last two Avengers movies. They were just such big movies, especially the last one. You didn't know what to expect. And similar feeling. I do get that feeling with this movie. It feels like that really big blockbuster feel movie that I'm genuinely, as a fan, super excited to see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun movie. I just hope it just doesn't disappoint. I feel like with this one, rather like looking at The Matrix, I feel like it's maybe not going to live up to the expectations that have been set before it. With this one, I feel like there's a lot of expectation, and I feel like it is going to deliver. I think with the Marvel movies, the Marvel Spider-Man movies in the MCU so far, they've all been good movies. I've enjoyed them, and I know they've done it before where they've had multiple characters in the previous movies, and it's kind of been too much because, there's too many characters to balance out. I think they will get it right. I think they'll get it right with the villains in this one. I think they'll give them enough time, hopefully, to get it all right. They've proven they can do it in the Avengers movies, that they can have multiple characters involved and give them all enough airtime to make each character feel important to a story. And I think they will do it here. I think Kevin Feige, him in his important role as the head chief of MCU movies, of Marvel, I think he knows what he wants, and he gets it from his directors, and I think it's going to be a top movie. I think it's going to be the biggest movie of the year. I think it's going to be the biggest movie of December. I think it's just going to be a big movie for years to come. I think we're going to look back at this and we're going to go, look at this scene, look at this scene, look at this scene, and we're just going to be mesmerized by each and every scene of this movie. So that is the headline topic for today's show over and done with. It's been fun discussing those December movies, but let's move on now with the rest of the show. And we start now here with another section of the show, and this part of the show is Movies for the Weekend. This is the part of the show where I discuss some movie recommendations for you for this weekend. And I'm going to start off with, I feel like this movie is one which is a good movie to watch over the Christmas period. You can sit back on a weekend and chill out, a nice family entertaining movie, and that is Robin Williams in Jumanji. Super classic movie. I know it has spawned 2 more sequels now with The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillian as well. Great sequels, but for me, the original is the best, and it's just a superb movie where he goes into this board game. Robin Williams' character as a child gets thrown out, he's in there for 20 years in this Jumanji, and then they've got to try and complete the board game. These animals, these characters from the board game come into the real world. It's just a superb movie, a really fun movie, and Robin Williams is 5-star in this one. 5-star performance. Great film to watch. Jumanji. If you've not checked out the first Jumanji movie, you've only seen the sequels, check out the original, please. It is a classic. Next up, I am going to mention the first Christmas movie of this year on the show for Movies for the Weekend recommendation, and it is one I've seen a few times now, and it is Will Ferrell and James Caan in the movie Elf. And yeah, I've seen it. It was one for years I hadn't watched, or I'd seen little clips of, but I have seen it all now. And yeah, I like this movie. I think it's a fun movie. I'll be honest, I'm not like a big Christmas movie fan, but I like this. I think it's got some really funny comedy moments in it. Will Ferrell is just any movie he's in, I just laugh. He's just a funny actor, isn't he? He's a funny guy. You watch him in interviews, he's a funny guy. But yeah, Buddy the Elf, well worth checking out as a movie for movies for the weekend recommendation. But anyway, let me know what you are watching this weekend. Are you going to check out either of these choices, or are you going for something else instead? But anyway, let's move on to the next section of the show, and this is the Amazon Top 10, and this is the Amazon Top 10 bestsellers in the DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K section, physical media. Let's see what is in the top 10 this week. At number 10, we have the Cliff Richard The Great 80s Tour DVD. I'm pretty sure that's been in over the past couple of weeks. It's been hitting in, trying to slide itself in. Next up, we have the Suicide Squad DVD at number 9. At number 8, we have Disney's Cruella on DVD. Again, great movie. What else do we have here? Number 7, we have The Crown Season 4 DVD. At number 6, we have Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi on DVD, The Legend of the Ten Rings. Number 5, we have Fast and Furious 9 on DVD. Number 4, we have No Time to Die, the 4K of No Time to Die. Number 3, we have the DVD of Black Widow. At number 2, same again, James Bond, No Time to Die is just, it's dominating the charts at the moment. I think it's going to be like this for the rest of December, in all honesty. No Time to Die, the Blu-ray is at number 2, and the DVD is at number 1 of No Time to Die. Yeah. That film, as I said, it is released this month. I think I can foresee for the rest of this month, No Time to Die is just going to dominate those charts. It's been dominating them charts for the past couple of weeks in the bestsellers. I think it's not going to change one bit over the next few weeks anyway. But anyway, that is the Amazon Top 10 over for today's show. Let's move on to another section, and that is what's been on the screen. What have I been watching? What have I been reading? What's been going on with my screen this week? First of all, I watched this week on IMDb TV, free streaming service. It is the In Excess biopic. In Excess, an Australian band from the 80s, 90s, and they had a bit of a tragic ending to the story where the lead singer who died at the end of the story. Kind of a spoiler warning, but I mean, I think it's a lot of people would know the story by now, really. But they had released a biopic in 2014, and the biopic was called Never Tear Us Apart: The Untold Story of In Excess, and it's this 2-parter Australian biopic, 2 1.5-hour specials. And it shows the story of the band coming to be, the rise of the band, becoming like this big band in Australia and across the world. And I'll be honest, I like In Excess music, but I wouldn't say like I'm a big In Excess fan. I like a few of the popular songs, but if we're getting into like the deep records of In Excess, I'm not like super knowledgeable of that band. But I do like some of their music. I think they've got some good songs. But to see this story, I think it was really well written. I think it was, I don't know the full details of them, so I don't know how much of this is completely accurate in the story. But it tells the story of like Michael Hutchence, the lead singer, him as the lead singer, and his antics with different events in his life, and leading up to his death, and different troubles he had throughout his life. I don't want to really go too deep into some of these themes because there is a lot of adult themes, and I try and keep this kind of like a family-friendly show. But In Excess, the untold story, Never Tear Us Apart, really well worth checking out if you're into your biopics. Even if you don't know much about the band In Excess, I would certainly recommend checking it out because it's one of those where you'll know a lot of the songs, you'll have heard them before, and it's an interesting story. I think it's a really interesting story. A lot of very unknown actors to me, personally, but the actors were really good in the performances. I think it was a really good casting for these roles, and a really good documentary. Well worth, a documentary biopic. Biopic. It's not a documentary, it's a biopic. But at times it feels like kind of like a documentary the way it's filmed. You'll get what I mean if you watch it. But yeah, well worth checking out that movie, 2-parter. What else have I been watching this past week? I have watched finally got round to watching The Green Hornet, starring Seth Rogen, uh, Jay Chow, Cameron Diaz, and Christoph Waltz as the main movie villain. The Green Hornet. This is one. It was a radio series. It's like it's two vigilantes going out, and it was a radio series originally, apparently, and then it transformed into like I think it was like a comic strip, or it then revolved into the TV show starring Bruce Lee as Kato. So you have Kato and the Green Hornet, and they just go around fighting crime, and it's a really fun movie. I remember being released at the time. I was like, oh, this just it doesn't feel like something I'd want to watch, and I thought I seen it the other day on Prime, and I thought let's give this a watch. Let's see what it's like. And I really watched it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun vigilante movie. It's really kind of like an underrated movie, I would say, as well. It's one I would definitely watch again. I'd watch it again this week. I really enjoyed it that much. I thought it was a really entertaining movie. I think Seth Rogen was great casting in it. Jay Chow, he was great as Kato, taking over that role from Bruce Lee. And it's so basically Seth Rogen plays Britt Reed, who's this like playboy kind of guy. His dad owns a newspaper. Something happens, and then he has to like take over things, and he decides to he does a criminal act. He does a criminal act first of all, and then it's on the news and stuff like that. And he decides that he is going to become him and Kato are going to be known as criminals to fight criminals, but secretly they're going to be heroes. They're going to be vigilantes and they're going to fight crime secretly. But to the rest of the world and to the newspapers, they are going to be seen and portray themselves as criminals to the other criminals, so the criminals will be fearful of them. And it's really, it's a weird concept, but it's something different. Something different to like the vigilante, the superhero comic book movie genre. And it was really, it was a fresh movie for me. 2011, this movie was released, and the visuals in it are really cool. The action scenes, the fight scenes are really cool. It's got that vibe of like a 1950s, 60s, like a Batman Adam West TV show at times. But it was fun. It's a fun movie to watch. If you're looking for something to watch, I would definitely check out The Green Hornet. Well worth checking out. That is my other movie I watched. Another thing I've watched, and I've only watched 2 episodes so far, but I know a lot of it's been mentioned recently of the Cowboy Bebop show, of the live action version. I've not watched the live action show yet, and I've been meaning to watch the Cowboy Bebop for a while. I've heard it mentioned for a while, and I decided to watch the first couple of episodes. I think I watched 2 episodes last night of the Cowboy Bebop, the animated show. I didn't realize it's one season, right? And it's 26 episodes, and then they did like a movie spin-off or like a sequel movie. And I had no idea of what the show was. It's like he's like a bounty hunter in this show. The main character is Spike, and he's going around collecting bounties. And I enjoyed it. I think it was released in the late 90s, this show. The animation is really cool. I love the intro. The intro music is really fun, and I love that sound. It's really good. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop, I'm getting into it. I'm going to watch the rest of the season and then maybe check out the animated sequel movie and then the live action series as well. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's fun from what I've seen. Maybe give it a few more episodes to give my full thoughts on that show. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. But anyway, that is what's been on my screen this past week. And that is the show over and done with for today, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching, first of all. If you enjoyed the show today, please do check it, give it a like, and check out the rest of the movie-related content on the channel. We're getting a bit tongue-twisted then. But yeah, it's been a really fun show to do today. December movie releases. Some big hitter movies. Spider-Man, definitely for me, is the big movie. But let me know, what movies are you most looking forward to seeing this month in December? What is going to be your movie you're going to see at the cinema? Maybe what are the movies you're looking forward to see at home as home releases? You've got The Matrix, we've got Don't Look Up as well. So we got a bit of a mixed bag of movie releases for this December. It's going to be good. Let me know all your thoughts on today's show. Let me know if you watched The Green Hornet as well. Let me know your thoughts on The Green Hornet. I want to know what other people think of that movie as well, of what's been on my screen. But anyway, it's been a really fun-packed show. As I said, we got 2 more shows for this year, and we're going to make the most of it, and we're going to make 2 fantastic shows, I'm sure of it. I hope so anyway, fingers crossed. Thank you very much for watching today's show, and as always, I will see you next time.